Hi, it's Hope and welcome to the video. This is going to be my April mid-month wrap-up and it has blown my mind that it's already the 15th when I'm filming this and we're halfway through the month. Now I'm going to try to do this as quick as possible because A, there's 13 books to go through, B, I'm on sprints and I have 24 minutes to film this, and C, I'd also like to eat before that sprint's over. So we're going to try to do this as quick as possible. The first three books I'm going to talk about are a trilogy, so I'll talk about them all together, and that is the Off the Game Trilogy by Nora Sakavic, and I have them in the wrong order. When do I ever put them in the right order? That's the question. So here they are, which is the Foxhole Court, the Raven King, and the Kingsmen, and I gave all of these 5 stars. This was a reread for me again. Let me find the first one, which is right there. Essentially in this series we follow Neil, who ends up getting this opportunity to play on a university XC team. XC is essentially, the way it's described in the book is lacrosse played on a soccer-sized field with the violence of hockey. I think I finally have that description down for the game. And Neil accepts this opportunity even though he knows it'll bring him to the spotlight, and this is kind of a bad thing because he's been on the run from his father, who's a bad person, for the last 8 years. And I love this series so much. This is my 3rd time reading it in like 13 months. Like, I read the series the first time in March of 2021, then I read it in November of 2021, and now April of 2022. So like, I just love this series. I mean, I love it so much that I got alternate dust jackets. So yeah, I'm so happy I did a reread of this. And yeah, if you catch me looking down here, it is because I have my iPad on my lap with all the books that I read and their ratings, just because I feel like sometimes ratings slip my mind. The next book I read is Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover, and essentially in this we follow Tate, who she moves in with her brother Corbin, and Corbin's a pilot, so he's never really at the apartment, hence why kind of Tate moves in, because she's trying to like start a savings. And Tate meets Miles, who is Corbin's best friend as well as a fellow pilot, and Miles lives next door, and Tate and Miles have like a mutual attraction for each other, so they decide to be kind of like friends with benefits. And there's only 2 rules, is Miles asks Tate to not ask about his past and to not expect a future, and it is their friendship turned romance, kind of. We deal with some dark topics, like I will say, like there is some slightly dark-ish moments. You honestly hate Miles for most of the book. It is kind of dual point of view. You see current time with Tate, and then you see 6 years in the past with Miles when he is going through things that link back to the reason why he acts the way he does. I fucking sobbed with this book. This book inspired a video that I will be making either later this month or next month about books that made me ugly cry, because chapter 37, if you've read the book, had me sobbing, ugly crying. I gave this book 5 stars. I loved it. I'm so excited to be reading more of Colleen Hoover's work. I'm actually going to be starting a book by her tonight. So yeah. The next book I read is Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber, and this is the first book in the like spin-off series from Carval. And essentially in this we follow Evangeline Fox, who she was in love with this boy, and this boy was set to marry another, and so then Evangeline found Jax, who is the Prince of Hearts, and made a deal with him. And yeah, that's kind of all I can say without spoilers. But this book I gave 4 stars. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm also realizing, don't mind the cup up there. But yeah, I don't really have any strong thoughts. I loved the audiobook because I listened to it audiobook and read it physically. And I don't really think I have strong thoughts on it. Besides, I liked it. I'm really, really, really excited for The Ballad of Never After, which comes out in September. So yeah. Now the next few books I'm kind of going to talk about together because they're all in the same series. So the first book is Barbarian Lover by Ruby Dixon. This is the 3rd book in the Ice Planet Barbarian series, where essentially we follow, in the first book, these group of women end up getting kidnapped by these green aliens, like as they refer to them as, and they end up getting then dumped onto this random planet, this icy planet, where they meet some big blue aliens and romances happen. And so we're in the third book, which is Kira and Ehako's book. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that name right, because it's not, it's a made-up name. And I gave a Barbarian Lover 3.5 stars. I did like it. It actually had a plot compared to the first two. I will say that, and I do plan on continuing the series. And then I read the 3 Honeymoon Novellas, so I'll go through them really quickly. These are essentially like 50-ish page novellas following some of the characters on like a mini honeymoon type thing. They're stupid, but they were fun to read. The first book is Ice Planet Honeymoon, Vectel and Georgie, which I gave 3 stars. It was quick, it was easy, no really big thoughts. Then I read Ice Planet Honeymoon, Rahush and Liz. I gave this 2.5 stars. Wasn't good, wasn't bad. It was just kind of there and I read it. And then the final book in this series that I've read is Ice Planet Honeymoon, Aheko and Kira, and this I gave 3 stars. It was fairly good. And yeah, I just kind of flew through all of those in like 24 hours. The next book I read was Stoneheart by Katie Robert, and this is the Dark Olympus novella, so it's like a prequel novella where essentially we follow Medusa, who is sent to kill Calypso, and instead there is a sapphic romance. That's all I'm really gonna say. That's pretty much all I can say without spoilers. It's a like 80-page novella. It didn't really add much to the story of the Dark Olympus series so far. It did also feel quite a bit like just Electric Idol but sapphic, which, not that I'm complaining it's sapphic, but it kind of just felt like almost a redo of a book that was already written and published. So yeah, I gave this 3 stars. I didn't hate it, I didn't love it, it was okay. The next book I read was White Hot Kiss by Jennifer L. Armentrout, and this essentially we follow Layla, who is half demon and half gargoyle. Gargoyles are also referred to as wardens in the series, so I might use the term gargoyle and warden interchangeably. I'll just put that as a warning. And I can't really explain much of what goes on because honestly a lot of the plot points are a spoiler, but essentially we follow Layla, who she has been raised by wardens since she was like 8 or something. And they use her to track down demons because she's half demon, so she can see who's demon, who's human. The wardens can too, but she can do it just a little differently. She can see souls. And when Layla meets a demon named Roth, things kind of change because now demons are trying to attack her more, and we do learn this reason, but that's kind of spoilery. I gave this book a 3.5. It is my least favorite Jennifer L. Armentrout book that I've read. This is my 9th, I think. And well, it was good, don't get me wrong, but I feel like the plot didn't come in until about 50%, and even then it felt a little bit rushed. I do plan on reading book 2, which is Stone Cold Touch, I think, and I might be reading that in May because I do really want to continue the series. The next book I read is The Awakening by Caroline Peckham and Susan Valenti, and this is the first book in the Zodiac Academy series, where essentially we follow Tori and Darcy Vega. They are twins, and they end up discovering that they are the lost heirs to Solaria, which is a kind of like a mirror dimension to our own, and so they end up having to travel there to attend the Zodiac Academy, where essentially if they attend the Zodiac Academy and graduate, they end up getting the throne of Solaria because they are the last people like in line for the throne. Currently, the throne of Solaria is being done by the 4 celestial families, and the throne is supposed to go down to the sons of the family. So when Tori and Darcy get to the Zodiac Academy, the 4 sons are trying to bully them out of the school so that they can never receive their throne. And yeah, that's the brief premise of it. I probably explained way too much, but that's basically what the book is. It's like bully romance, it's new adult, it's fae, but then there's different orders of fae, so you have things like sirens, dragons, werewolves, vampires, Pegasus, like you have just all these different type of things. I gave it a 3.5. Now, like on my enjoyment level, it's like a 5-star. On the logic and actual like plot and the characters, it's a 3.5. So I give it a 3.5. I enjoyed it so much, I honestly might be reading book 2 after I finish November 9 by Colleen Hoover, which is my next read. But who knows? I did enjoy the world. I've also heard that as the books go on, they get better, like around book 3 or 4, that's when the series really is good. So I'm excited. I also do plan on reading all the books in the series, as well as the 2, like, the prequel series and the sequel series. This year I just plan on binging through a lot of Caroline Peckham's and Susan Valenti's work, because I've read the Brutal Boys of Everlark Prep series by them last year and I fucking loved it. And I'm getting this similar vibes for like the Zodiac Academy series, so I'm very excited. I love me some good bully romance, so I enjoyed it. And then the final book that I literally just finished half an hour before filming this is A Torch Against the Night by Sabatier, which is the second book in the An Ember in the Ashes series, where essentially in the first book we follow Laia, who's a scholar, and scholars are kind of treated like crap. And then we have Elias, who is a mask, who's essentially like a soldier for the Empire. When Laia's grandparents are killed and her brother is taken prisoner, I guess, Laia ends up kind of consorting with the rebellion, and this ends up getting her sent to Blackcliff Academy to be a slave in exchange for, like, she does this and then the rebellion will help her find her brother, who she believes that she can get back. And that's kind of all I can explain. This is book 2, where Laia and Elias are working together to I guess it's not really a spoiler, to free Laia's brother from prison. And that's pretty much all I can say. I give this 4 stars. The first book I gave 5 stars. I loved that to bits and pieces. This one, there was just a few things that I was like, okay, I get it, but I don't. There was some big reveals in this that make me really excited for book 3, which is A Reaper in the Gates, which I might try to get to in May. I need to borrow it from my library, so I need to see if my library even has it. And yeah, I don't really have strong thoughts on this. I enjoyed it. I guess that's what I'll say. I enjoyed it. Plan on continuing the series, as I've already stated. I do really like Laia and Elias's characters. I love the betrayal in this, because like Laia is betrayed by a character. And that's all I'll say because of spoilers. I do think in my vlog that will be going up in 2 days' time, we'll have a little bit more of my thoughts. And then, because I also need to film that clip for that vlog to actually explain my final thoughts. Oops, I gotta do that. But yeah, those are the first books that I've read in April. I'll be doing a end of month wrap up where I'll talk about my stats. I'll do that probably beginning of May. But yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what books you have read so far in April, or if you've read any of these books, or just anything bookish in the comments below. I'd love to hear it. But I really hope you enjoyed the video. I've already said that, so bye!